All right, welcome to another episode from the Chart Reader. So we are going to continue the AI sector review looking at Bullfrog and Guard Force AI. Look, I mean, you can kind of hear it in my voice. You can see it in the charts here. Where the reward is good, the risk is high, right? So, a lot of things to talk about. The one cool thing that we can now start doing is we have a little bit more information now. We've now been trading for a little bit more than 50 days, so we do have a 50 moving average. We've now been trading more than 50 days, so we now have a 50 moving average on the volume, right? We're getting a couple more indicators to come into play when we do our analysis, right? And we'll get into the details shortly, but real quick, what are we going to do? Same thing we always do, right? We're going to take a look at the daily and the weekly to see how things are setting up short term. We have our 5 moving averages, these horizontal support and resistance lines that I do draw manually myself, and then when we're done up here, we'll use the MACD, RSI, and volume as our lower indicators. Hey, really quickly, if you can please like, subscribe, share, comment. Anything you can do with this video really does help with the YouTube algorithms. But I swear, just being here and giving me your time is beyond appreciated, okay? And look, I am not perfect. I am not all-knowing. There's no crystal ball telling me what Monday's going to look like. So, yeah, if you got different opinions than me, throw them in the comments, all right? I'm not here to hate on you. And, yeah, if you're right and I'm wrong, I'd rather hear it in the comments than watch my money go down the toilet. You know what I mean? So, let's get into it. And look, good things happen over the 8 and the 20. Bad things happen under the 8 and the 20. I talk about these two lines all the time, and you can really see it here, right? One of the sadder things is, look, again, this is the entire chart, right? It went from just looking like we were going to run all-time highs to just kind of dying, right? To say the least. I mean, we've almost lost about 50% just using some rough math, right? A little higher than 8 and almost at 4. Like this is a nasty week and a half to round it, right? So hopefully you've used these lines as your, kind of indicators, as your buy and sell indicators, right? Otherwise, I know a lot of people are long on the sector and long on some of these stocks. I'm always here to just look, I still believe in these stocks. I'm not trying to pretend I don't. I still think AI is king. I actually really I'm waiting for the recovery. I really am. I have no money in these, but I'm very much waiting, okay? And I'm surprised, just in case you didn't watch my first video. I'm really surprised that Nasdaq's done so well the last couple of days, really the entire week, right? I guess half the week. But this has not been reflected on the AI stocks. And honestly, I got it wrong. I really thought when this happened, I said, if we can reattempt this 1225 and actually break it, I assumed AI was actually going to crack 34. And I think I thought Bullfrog would have gone into all-time highs. Guard Force would have still kept doing silly things. But yeah, I'm actually a little surprised that the AI stocks are doing this when the last 3 days were that on NASDAQ. So I think that is a really important thing to call out, okay? Look, right now there's a lot of emphasis on this 50 moving average, and really it's pretty much the halfway point between the two lines that I had. So it's almost perfectly falling into that midpoint line, right? So really, this is the must bounce or the hit eject point if you're still. And again, I'm not here to tell you what to do with your money, right? I'm just kind of giving you my opinions. But yeah, if we lose the 50 moving average, these days I think would have been worse if it wasn't for the fact that the 50 just came here. Because again, this line wasn't here back here, right? So otherwise speaking, we would have been under all moving averages if it was still these two. And losing these two obviously did that, but I'm telling you, if this wasn't here, I actually really think we might be down here already. Losing this 50 will put us under all the moving averages. The next one's not coming for another 50, almost 40 days at the minimum, right? We need 50 days for this one. We need 100 days for this one, right? And we just hit 53, right? This was right here, day 50, right? So, we cannot lose this red line. And I'm telling you, I would start to worry about 265 if this line goes, honestly, because I don't know how good this line is, as I'm kind of like putting weight on these two. I'm pretty much using 50% of this in the doji. I'm not even using the bottom of this. I'm not even using 50% of this candle. Like, I don't even think this is that good of a line anymore. This was obviously a really good line back here when we only had a very little info, but man, I think I'm deleting this line. I think there's very little relevance to that one. Let me see if I can draw a better one. And I would want to use this one. Um, Shit, I think that's where is your let's just pick a 50%. I think that's about 50%, give or take. That's just a little too close to the 50 moving average for me to really use. All right, let's give it the top of that. I'm going to use that. I don't think it was that far off from where the last line was. And again, I don't really have that much weight on. I'm going to delete this. I don't think there's a point in putting that line. Hold the 50 and bounce up, or lose the 50 and probably come down here. Maybe right here, maybe $3 is probably a line worth putting. But honestly, this green, 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 red, 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 green, 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 red, red, red. I really don't think, yeah, I think this is the line that I'm going to draw. It is. I think that, roughly speaking, the bottom of this or the top of this, right? And we're not here for perfection. Good enough will make you a lot of money or save you a whole mess, trust me. So, bullfrog, this is a sad chart for sure, all right? And like, let's just talk about these before I do go to the weekly. But RSI is not doing well, and it's getting way too close to the zero and negative line for my liking. This is super tight and pretty much irrelevant. You know what I mean? Like, this number is obviously really good if we bounce up, but this number is really bad if we lose this and go down, because there's plenty of down to go. Like, I'm ignoring it, but I'm really worried that the placing of this number can really accelerate the up or down. So just make sure you understand that risk, right? And look, volume, right? Like, we got to start cracking this white line now. All right. It was easy to kind of like seem good and stuff, but like, yeah, now we have this white line to compare on. And yeah, until we get over that white line, volume is king. You know how I feel about that, right? So there's a lot to worry. And one last time, what's the actual number? 421. If this thing hits 419, I'm getting real scared, okay? And then look at that. Is 419? Man, the 8 average is actually at basically 440. So we're still over that on the weekly. Between 440 and 420 is the like something better happen window. I think that's where we end it with Bullfrog. Guard Force. So take a look at Guard Force. And again, kind of same story, right? Where there's good risk, where there's good things over the 8 moving average, we start to see bad things under the 8 and the 20. Truth be told, this hasn't fallen as hard as Bullfrog has. Now, I'm not going to lie, I'm not doing the percentages in my head. I'm just kind of looking at the slopes of it, right? Like, it's definitely lost a good 50%, right? From basically 30 to 15. So percent-wise is sad, but I feel like the Bullfrog drop seems a little bit steeper than this kind of like relatively stable downtrend. Okay, that said, again, we are now 3 days under the 8 and the 20, and we just did a death cross. So I like it when the small one goes up on the big one. When the 8 goes above the 20, it's a death cross when it goes the other way. We're now losing it. So that's not a good thing. So as long as the 8 goes down, I start getting really worried. And yeah, again, kind of like the Bullfrog analysis, this is definitely coming a little too close to the zero line for me to feel happy. This is really, really stable in line and horizontal, so it's kind of irrelevant. But again, 49 is plenty of room before it drops to like 20, and then plenty of room before it hits the wall of like 80, right? So this will accelerate the good or bad that happens. And man, I mean, this can quickly fall to the 11 range, and that's a hard percent move from where we are. Because look, just the dollar was a quick 6 burger, right? So we're talking about losing almost 5, like roughly speaking, that's a third, give or take, right? And just rounding from 15 to 10. So could happen if we don't get back above, like we got to get back above 1820, 1840 actually will get us over both the 8 and the 20, right? But yeah, there is some things to be worried about. And again, I'm just really surprised that NASDAQ doing well isn't picking up for this stock either. So Yeah, just it's interesting to say the least. Again, look, I still believe in the AI stocks. I still think that these will do well. I just know not everything does well all the time, right? And we use these lines, we use these indicators to just kind of help us gauge when to get back in. Or hey, if you're long and strong, man, just close your eyes, close your ears, and wait a couple of years. You know what I'm saying? So hey, these are just my thoughts and opinions. Let me know what you think. Otherwise, you know I appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you.